Good morning, everyone. Just having a few little technical difficulties today. Okay, we're on. So today we're going to um, do some burritos actually, and you could turn these into enchiladas if you want, whatever it is that you feel like doing, and so yeah, so there's lots of really good protein in this. We're going to be using a couple different products here. And this one here, actually I'm going to get this into onto the pot here with a little bit of water so that we get that going to cook up the onions. And we're going to chop these up first. Actually, I'm not going to use this whole thing. This is like a really, really big onion. So we're just going to use a quarter of it. So it'd be like, you know, if you were trying to measure, it'd be like a small onion. And so we're just going to do it like that. And put them in here with a little bit of water. So just going into the pan with a little water. And yeah, okay, I thought of something else that we need to do, but that's okay. We don't need to do that yet. This is a product that's really good with you know, it has like the plant-based sort of a Mexican veggie round, or ground, I suppose you would say. And it's the Ives one, and it's really, really good. It has some super good seasoning in it. You know, it's got some really good flavor, and it's they've actually done a super good job on that. You can just use this, you know, pretty much straight up just the way it is, because the flavoring is very good. We're going to add some flavorings to it, but yeah, you can definitely just use it as is. It's a really great product. And so the other thing we're going to do, we're just going to let that cook down on high and cut up some of the other vegetables. Oh my goodness, my peppers are getting a little weary, so don't want to have that. So we're going to cut that off. It's just a little bruise. It must have bumped into something else in the drawer, kind of bruised it a bit. Anyway, so yeah, so we're going to add some peppers. We're going to add some, hey, good morning, everybody. Hi, Jane, Darlene, everyone. So what we're going to do is put these peppers in, and then we are going to add some mushrooms. Okay, so yeah, so your the peppers have vitamin A and vitamin C, and yeah, it's really nice to be able to still have some of the fresh garden peppers from this summer. So that's pretty awesome to be able to have that. Now, if you wanted to, you could add some tomatoes to this. Mine from the garden. I keep using them as they ripen, and so I've kind of used them, so I don't really have any super ripe ones yet to use. So I'm not going to do that, and it's okay, because what we're going to add is we're going to add the fermented salsa here, which is super awesome. It has all the fresh tomatoes in it. That's where I used all my tomatoes. So the other place I used all my tomatoes was in the ferments here. So we have the tomatoes fermenting, if you can see that. And then we have the carrots are coming along really nicely too in the ferments. And I'm really liking this Brillianti fermentation lids. And it has the little vacuum thing, so you can vacuum the air out. And really good tops, like they just twist off. They have like a little notches for you to twist them off really easily, and they have a date thing on the top, which is really super cool, so that you can see exactly when you put your ferment in. So we're going to add some portobellos, and it's funny, last week we had the discussion with the portobellos that sometimes they sometimes they turn things black, and so we had a little discussion on what causes that, and it could be the little gills. And so last week I was trying to remove them with a spoon, and I was actually working with sort of mini portobellos. And so it was more difficult because they were smaller mushroom to get the gills out. But here, you know, if you slice them like this, they tend to come out, well, not that easy, but a little bit easier. And, or you could cut them out with a knife too. So I don't really know if that's the part that makes things turn black. If anybody knows, feel free to message or put it in the comments, because it's really fun to share information like that, which I just haven't really taken the time to Google it or look into it or anything like that. But it does kind of make sense that it could be these parts that turn things black. And in this particular case, we don't care, because it's going to be all, you know, wrapped together and all the veggies mixed together. But it's just something I've mentioned because I did realize that when you have a big portobello like this, it would be easier to get the gills out with a knife. But we're not going to worry about that. Just showing you what the different possibilities are and what the different theories are. And so that's what makes it so nice in this Facebook Live, is that, you know, we have, it's just a community of people that get together and ask me to share recipes and to explore doing healthy foods in different ways. And so, so we're really open to just, you know, let's try this kind of thing. So most of my real recipes are on my YouTube channel, and they're mostly 15-minute healthy meals, you know, that are a little less casual. So definitely, I'm not a professional cook. I'm a certified herbalist, and I do natural health consulting, and you know, like for I'm, you know, herbs and nutrition and supplements, and also healthy foods. So, but I just throw them together however I throw them together, and if you can learn something from my mistakes, then that's awesome. So yeah, so we're just gonna let this cook down a bit. I can see those onions are starting to become a little bit more cooked. Okay, I'm gonna add the peppers next, and yeah, I'm gonna add them all. We're gonna make another little dish here, so I'm just I always get distracted with what I'm going to add and what I'm gonna do next, and then you know, as we're cooking, it's so creative. You can, you know, as you're going through it, it's like, oh, should I save a little bit of that for the next dish? And so we often end up changing the recipes and doing different things just because we can. You know, I'm not one to follow a regular recipe and do it, you know, the way it's supposed to be. I don't do very many things the way it's supposed to be. I'm so not perfect, and I do the, you know, the dumbest things. But it's okay, because I never, you know, you just can't expect to have perfection all the time. And if you do, that's okay, that's awesome. That's just not me. So, so we just wing it with doing super healthy foods and learning more about how to use them and how to get them into your diet and make them yummy, because a lot of times people think healthy food is not yummy and what's the word for it? I don't know, not decadent enough or whatever, not rich enough. But it is, and it can be for sure. And super healthy, like when you know that you're improving your immune system and you're helping yourself to be healthier, you can take pretty much, you know, any home-cooked recipe and make it healthier by adding really healthy, either you can add supplements into them, which we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, or like maca, astragalus, ashwagandha, all that kind of stuff. Or you can add health-enhancing foods, like the portobellos have health-enhancing properties as well. They're antioxidant, they have copper, they have potassium, and we're going to add some of these other mushrooms too, which I actually, we picked these this spring. And so these are a few oyster mushrooms, and the oyster mushrooms are, they're really good for detoxifying the body. They have so many great immune system helping functions. They're antiviral. They actually help to clean out any toxins or anything in the cells that shouldn't be there. So really, really important. They've actually used them environmentally to clear toxins as well, and chemicals and all that kind of thing, because they sort of, I don't know how or why, you'd have to look it up, but the research shows that they're really, really helpful in that way. So we have that, and then we have a few of the maitake mushrooms, which are, they're anti-cancer. You know, they've been used for helping people that are going through chemo. They are, they're antioxidants, obviously. They balance your blood sugar and all kinds of things like that. So the maitake, and we have, what we'll do is we'll throw in just a few of the shiitakes too, which are super antiviral, right? They're really good against viruses and things. And yes, it does. Yeah, I know. We'll try that. But it's not going to matter in this one, you taking the gills out. But I think that may be what turns things dark, are the gills. I think Kathy was right. She was on here helping us the other day and commenting. And so, yeah, so I think that is if you wanted something to maintain its color. So maybe I will try that. I don't know. It's going into a burrito, so we're not going to see it too much. So with the add a little bit of water here. You can hear it starting to cook down. Yeah, so the shiitakes, these are dried shiitakes, and they're really, really good. Hey, Darlene. Nice. Oh, I know. I accidentally went on my personal Facebook the other day for the live video, which is okay. And there were a lot more people that don't know about this one, which I didn't know, that people didn't know that I was doing this because they weren't seeing it on my personal page. And so anyway, what's come to my attention is that also that Facebook's changed the notifications or something, and so they've kind of like undone the notifications, and I don't know much about it other than if you know, I know a few people said they missed my live on either page, and so you need to turn on your notifications, and and yeah, yes, I'm glad to see Darlene back too, for sure. But anyway, you need to turn on your notifications, and in order to be able to get the notifications of when I'm on, apparently. So just explaining that a little bit, that if you do like these videos, or you want to know what I'm up to or what I'm doing, you have to turn on your all notifications. So that's awesome. So the reason I broke up those shiitakes around the edge, and I kept the little centers, the shiitakes when they're dried are very chewy, and so I find the stems super chewy, like, you know, not in a good way. So I put these in tea because you still want to add the, yeah, it has so much with the antiviral properties. Oh my gosh, it's such a valuable mushroom for your immune system. So, and I'm actually drinking my Vitality tea, which is a super good immune system enhancing formula that I created for ourselves, and then people wanted it, and I started selling it. But I also put a little cinnamon stick in it just to change it up a bit. The immune system tea, it's called Vitality tea, so it's vitality. It brings up your energy. It just makes you feel good, and it has a really mild flavor, like just hints of you don't know what, like not anything in particular. So people love it because it's so mild, and it just tastes good, you know. I kind of made it evenly, the herbs evenly balanced by flavor and taste, so that it doesn't take on any one thing. Like it has the ashwagandha, you know, which is really good for the for stress with hormone balancing. It's good for sleep, but yet the astragalus enhances the immune system. And so it's not like it really gives you energy, it just makes you feel good enough to feel like doing whatever it is that you want to do. And so, yeah, back to the notifications. Set your notifications to all, because people keep missing it. So anyway, I'm going to add the shiitake stem to my tea. And so, yeah, the Vitality tea is super, it's got lemongrass in it, which is really beautiful, just for a hint of that lemongrass. And it has lemon balm, which is antiviral as well. Lemon balm is super antiviral, like anybody that tends to get like cold sores or that kind of thing. Lemon balm's been used for that. It's just good for overall for the immune system. It has so many great qualities. And the lemon balm is very antiviral. Okay, so I need to add a little bit more water. I get carried away discussing things. And so, all right, so let's do this. Let's not put the stems in for right now. I mean the stems, the gills, and see what happens. I need to add other things though. I'm getting too carried away telling you all of the fantastic properties of the mushrooms. And it is a little tricky to get the gills off. And of course you're going to keep the gills because the whole mushroom is very valuable, right? For your portobellos, you know, they still have a lot of antioxidant properties. And so, you know, a lot of that stuff's in the gills. So all we're doing is just seeing if it doesn't turn black when I take the gills off. And sometimes I just can't see the, I can't see the comments and see what I'm doing at the same time. Glasses on, glasses off, and then they fall down my nose and all that kind of thing. And it's so fun to get old and not be able to see with glasses on or glasses off. Oh my gosh. So funny. So anyways, yeah, so the other thing that the portobellos have, and most mushrooms have selenium, of course. And I mean, not of course, not everybody knows that, but they do have selenium, and they do have riboflavin, which is super important. But they also have something called chitin, C-H-I-T-I-N, and that is, it's, you know what, I can't remember what it is. I can't remember, but it's indigestible anyways. I don't remember why it's indigestible. I want to say it's like some kind of fiber or protein or, I don't know. Anyways, the point is, that's what I'm looking for, is the point. The point is that, that the mushrooms have to be cooked for all those qualities to come out, all those nutritional, you know, the selenium and riboflavin, all that kind of stuff. They have to be cooked in order for you to absorb those nutrients from them. And they say that all mushrooms should be cooked, should never be eaten raw because of the chitin being indigestible. I don't think it really does a whole lot of anything terrible or anything like that. You know, I mean, obviously not. I've eaten probably thousands of raw mushrooms. But in order to get the nutrition and the value from the mushroom, they need to be cooked. Okay, I am adding some refried beans here too, to the, I don't want to touch that with that, I'll contaminate it. Yeah, so you can use any kind of beans. You know, basically we're making a burrito, so you can use regular beans, you can use black beans, whole beans, kidney beans, any kind of beans. These happen to be refried beans. There's a really good Amy's refried beans. That's what they're called. And those are like a veganish, pretty vegan, I think. You know, they just don't have the fat in it. That I think some of them are made with lard, I think. And probably traditionally that's, you know, most likely how they were made. But anyway, I like the Amy's ones. And then, yeah, I think you can get them flavored with jalapeno too, but we're going to do that ourselves. So we have the, we're going to add, what are we going to do here? I was going to add the rice to it, and like I said on the Facebook Live, I'm always changing my mind with whatever it is that I'm doing. It's like, oh, well, I was going to do it like this, but now that I'm doing it, it's like once you start doing something, there are so many options, you know, unless you're following a, you know, putting something together like a, you know, instructions where you need real instructions. But with cooking, you really don't. There's a few things, you know, that can go wrong. But like I've said before, you know, you really can't go wrong. It's like if it doesn't turn out, you can always turn it into soup. And so we have a lot of fun with that, with just exploring and creating different foods. And I try things that I've never tried before. That's the point of this Facebook Live. I mean, sometimes I share recipes that I'm very good at. But mostly I share recipes that people want me to try, and then we just kind of hang out and see how it goes. And then if it works, then that's awesome. And if it doesn't, it's okay too, because, you know, a lot of the comments have been that, that I make it look like you can make a mistake and it's okay. So people don't get stressed about trying to do it right, which is super cool. And so it's nice because I can make the mistakes so that you don't have to. Okay, so that's looking good. So I was going to do something with the with the rice. I have the rice here, and I am going to add salsa to it. So maybe I will ask you guys, should I add the salsa to the rice and then add the rice to the burrito, or should I have the rice on the side? Or, like we've done many, many times, let's do both. Okay, we have done that a lot, right, Darlene? We've done that a lot. Like, when I can't decide, do both. Okay, so clean spoon, and I will add some of this. And this is a just a white rice. I like to use the whole grain, but some people that live here just don't like the whole grain. And you know, the goal is to eat as healthy as possible, as often as you can, which I try to do daily. I'm just going to shut this off. And so that's great, you know, to be whatever you can do, 75, 80, 90% good food. But if somebody doesn't like something and they won't eat it, it's not going to be helpful, because you can replace that something with something else that has the same nutrition. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, if somebody doesn't like the whole grain rice, I'm going to use white, but in addition to that, I'm going to add the nutrients that we're missing by using a white rice, right? So the outer grain of any whole grain usually has a lot of B vitamins, all kinds of vitamins and minerals in the husk, right? The husk is super important. And so so I will supplement with the whatever it is that has those B vitamins, so that it's okay to use a lesser, you know, a tiny bit of a lesser quality of food. You know what I mean? Just make sure you're getting the stuff that you need. And if you need to deliver that nutrition in a different way, in a different form, even in a different time during the day, then that's okay too, you know? So don't get all hung up on, you know, things that you shouldn't eat. And what comes to mind is corn. Corn's definitely not something that that we need to eat more of. And if this wasn't a Mexican dish, I probably wouldn't be adding corn. You don't have to. But it's just that it's so overdone, right? We get corn in everything. Pretty much everything, that it's just everywhere. And it's usually quite often modified. So genetically modified. And so so I'm not gonna, what I do to try and reverse the effects of the corn is eat a lot of garlic. So the garlic will help to reverse the effects of the corn. And that's a whole nother, that's a whole nother story, because the corn has all kinds of things. Anyway, I should better not go there. But I do really enjoy the way I eat my corn, which I like to get it in tortilla chips and popcorn. And so in order to be able to eat my tortilla chips and my popcorn, I stay away from regular corn most of the time, just to keep that balance, right? Everything is good for you unless you way overdo it. Like, you know, apparently you can drink too much water too. So I don't think too many people have that problem. But yeah, too much of any one thing is not a good thing. You need to switch it up and compensate and learn about adding different nutritional things to your diet. And if you don't, if you don't want to do that, or you don't have the time to do that, or whatever, add greens to your diet. That will have everything that you need that you're missing. And adding a little bit of, speaking of which, adding a little bit of seaweed has so many trace minerals. It's really good. You know, if you've had any kind of radiation, like x-rays or whatever, the seaweed works to lessen the effects of the radiation. And in some places, they say it actually reverses the effects of the radiation. They've used it, highly used it in Japan for any of the radiation explosions, nuclear earthquakes, all that kind of stuff. They have used the seaweed extensively to minimize or negate the effects of the radiation. Okay, so I'm shutting this off now. I know that's kind of weird that I put seaweed in there, but I just put a little bit to replace those trace minerals that we missed from the outer grain of the rice. Okay, so, and I don't know specifically that seaweed has those vitamins, but it has so many great trace minerals. It's really good for you. So what I'm missing here for you guys, let me have a look. I'm looking for the dishes that I have right around me so I don't have to run around the kitchen. What I'm going to do, what my plan was to have another pan here for the, to mix up the rice. So what we'll do is we'll use this, and that's okay. You know what? We'll just pretend that this is hot. And yeah, we'll pretend, let me grab the other dish here. We'll pretend that this is hot and mix the rice. So what I'll be doing, this is like for dinner tonight, of course. And what I'll be doing is serving it in separate dishes, right? So you can have rice on the side, and then a nice, you know, salad, I can't say it, a nice salad on the side as well. So, so it'll be like burritos and rice and a salad. Okay, so this is the fantastic fermented salsa that we made the other day. And thank you, darling. That's awesome. And so you're just making salsa however you want to make salsa, and you are adding just a teensy bit more salt and leave it out on the counter with the, I've already fermented it with this, you know, these great, I'm really loving these ones. I have other lids, but these I'm really loving. They're Brillianti, but I can't remember the actual name of the company. But anyway, you can look it up on my thing. Check out my thing on my YouTube and my Facebook. Anyway, we fermented with this, and then after about 5 days, you just take that lid off and put it in the fridge, and it just makes the flavors pop. Like, to have fermented salsa, honestly, if you haven't tried it, you really have to. It just takes the salsa to a whole new level. And I'm not going to put a whole lot, like this is fermented, right? So it's got all your probiotics, it's got your, you know, friendly bacteria for your intestine, for your gut health, good for your immune system. You know, your probiotics run everything. Pretty much everybody knows that now anyways. So I'm not going to add a whole lot to this right now, just enough for color really, because when I heat this up tonight, the rice tonight, the heat will kill the probiotics, right? So this needs to be fresh and cold. So I'm just going to put a little bit in for like flavor and color, and then just before I serve it, while it's just warm, like maybe 125 degrees or whatever, like I'll put it on the plate and then just pour some of this over. And then you can pour this over the burritos as well, or open up your burrito and put it inside. But you don't really want to heat it because you'll lose the beautiful properties of the. We've been eating it like all the time. And it's something great to have out. Like I just put it in a little dish and a few tortilla chips on the you know, out, and it's a healthier snack than most things. And this also negates the tortilla chips because it has lots of garlic in it. So yeah, so there you go. Okay, I'm just gonna mix this together. So this is kind of gonna be like a Spanish rice. With this, I didn't add any seasonings because I'm telling you guys, I don't know if everybody was here at the beginning of this as I drop things on the floor, but the Ives Mexican veggie ground, whatever, it's really well seasoned. They have done an excellent job to where you don't really even need anything else. The only thing I really could add is maybe a little bit more cayenne, because they haven't made it super spicy so that it will please most people. So yeah, they've done a super awesome job on that. With this one here, you can add whatever you want to add. You could add some cumin, you know, to make it more Mexican. You could add garlic to it, but I have garlic in the salsa and I'm going to add more. So here we have already our onions, garlic, peppers, tomatoes, all that kind of stuff in here. So I really don't need a whole lot else. You know, what I'd like to do is add more cumin, but again, we're trying to please everybody that lives around here, so sometimes I can't add as much cumin as I want. And I love Indian food and Moroccan food and Thai food, and so I want to work with that now that the weather, well, it's a beautiful day today, but the weather's getting cooler. It'll be more of the stew type Indian, warm, bubbly, super intensely flavored dishes. Hey Kathy, good morning. Nice to see you here. So yeah, so that's, I'm just looking around. Did I get all the ingredients that I've used? And I'm going to add a little bit of the cayenne to this too. So the cayenne is really good for your circulation, really good cold hands and feet, for your heart, for your brain. If you get migraines, cayenne can be so helpful in hot water. You know, just make sure it's well mixed. And I think that's all I'm going to put in here. Although, you know, I'm so drawn to the cumin because I love it. So what I'll do is just sprinkle it on mine before we serve it. Okay, so easy peasy, that's pretty much it. I will save these portobello gills. Thank you, Kathy, for all the information on that idea of not using the gills. I'm going to use those in soup, so it won't matter. And then we have the, yeah, pretty much everything on here. I think that I didn't miss anything. Oh, well, maybe I will put a little bit of the Celtic sea salt. The other thing you can add, which really won't matter much, is the if we wanted to add some turmeric to this, it's going to make it turn a little bit yellow. But again, it's one of those things that that helps to reverse the negative effects of the corn and the white rice, right? I mean, not that it's negative, but it's not as perfect as it could be. But you guys know I'm all not about perfection. And the other thing is, so the turmeric has the curcumin for the anti-inflammatory properties, which is why I'm adding it. Super good for the immune system. Oh my God, it just does so many different things. And whenever you add turmeric, you always have to add black pepper to activate it. And oh, that's what I was gonna say, the one thing. It's handy to have all these things out handy, right? Because I wouldn't have really thought about adding turmeric if it was hidden away in my cupboard. And I know it's like a little messy, you know, to have this stuff out, or messy looking, I should say. But on the other hand, when it comes to your health, it's pretty important to do things like that. And so I have things like, you know, the dried mushrooms are handy, the ginger's handy, nutritional yeast, so that I remember to use that, portobello, so I remember to use that, cocoa, so I remember to use that. but really, seriously, have your turmeric out. You know, this stuff here you can add. You can add to anything. This is the organic dulse flakes, and you can add it to anything. And it's a very, very mild seaweed that is so full of nutrition and trace minerals. Have it out where you're going to use it, right? So just have like 5 or 6 things that are super healthy, that'll bump your nutritional value up. Easy to use, right? So that's why you find me looking around here. Okay, what else is there that I should be using that would be really helpful and yummy too? So anyway, there we are. We have the, whoops, I'm clanging. I tend to clang and forget about your tender ears. Okay, so that's it for today. We're going to look at the comments and feel free to post whatever you want me to experiment with, and we will see you tomorrow at 11. Okay, have a great day. It's sunny out there. Get out there and enjoy that sunshine. I'm just going to make sure I don't trip on my little rice pot. Check out my YouTube and my Instagram, and share and subscribe, and make sure that you put on the Facebook notifications. You have to put all on there. Okay, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.